Hello everyone, my name is Laura Feinbaum, and today we will be discussing how to make a bar chart in Advanced Analytics. This video will be broken up into two halves. The first, we will simply be building the bar chart. The second half, we will cover the customizations and how to best organize data. We're going to begin with a blank tile. Now, before we load any data, we need an example question to explain what our visualization will be representative of. For the sake of this tutorial, we'll be using the question, how many users are in the Netskope environment and which data centers are they using? To begin our bar chart, we will select Page Events here in the top right corner because this is where our data will be sourced from. Next, we will search for our data. In this case, because we are looking for new edge data centers in use, we're going to search Netskope host pop and then select Run. This will be the data that appears on our x-axis. Next, we will search for the number of users and once again select Run. This will be our y-axis. Let's quickly take a look at our data. As you can see, there are a few null values in our data set. Sometimes data centers can be considered null if the way we are receiving the information is through discovery and risk insights. To avoid having these null values alter our data, we will create a filter to weed out the null values. We will do so by selecting the gear symbol on the left side of the Netskope host pop column, selecting Filter, and then coming to our Filter tab and editing the filter to say is not null. We will now hit Run and show our new data visualization. Now that we have our first visualization, let's go into customizations. We can find the customizations under the gear symbol in the top right corner of the visualization section. As you can see here, there are 5 individual sections regarding different customizations to best fit your visualization. We will begin our tour of the customizations under the second tab, Series. Here, you can change the colors and edit the axis labels. By selecting the switch, Show Full Field Name, we can see that each axis now displays the entire section name from our Data tab. Now let's switch over to our Values tab, where we can start with our first option, Show Value Labels. This is a customization we at Netskope use a lot, as oftentimes we are presenting data where various data pools have a large range in values. By adding the value labels, our visualization can become more pleasing and easy to read. The rest of the Values tab covers more specific lists, which can be edited in other tabs. For instance, this first list shows the colors in use for our visualization, which can also be edited under the Series tab. Our next tab, X, begins with the options a user has to organize their visualization scale. Below those 3 options, users have the ability to reverse the x-axis scale, display and remove the axis name, and even customize the axis name to say something else. Here, we're going to change the axis name from Netskope host pop to data center so that you can get a feel for where these customizations take place in our visualization. Below those options, users have the ability to remove and adjust the axis value labels. For our last few examples of customizations, I'll return to the first tab and perform a pivot. But before I do either of those, I'm going to add in the data for the access method users are using to connect to each data center. In terms of the example we have been using, another question a client might ask is how are users connecting to the data center? This example will also help us better understand our last few customizations. When we add the access method and run the data, our visualization becomes quite hectic. To remedy this situation, we will perform a pivot of the access method tab. This will essentially reorganize our data into columns, but for further information, please see our video on pivots. After we select Run, we can see that our visualization changes by adding a legend below, which uses colors to signify the method by which each user is accessing the data center. We can also make this visualization more neat by coming to our Plots tab and stacking the data. Lastly, we will work with a new question to exemplify adding a new axis. Working with this example, an individual might say to themselves, I already know how many data centers are in use and how they're being accessed, but how much traffic, specifically uploads, is going through each of the data centers? To answer this question, we'll be adding another axis on the right side of our visualization, but first, we must unpivot the data. To remove the access methods data, return our data from stacked to grouped. Then we will search and add some bytes uploaded to our data section. From here, we will go back to our Y tab, where we will scroll down to left and right axes. Here, we will grab the tab labeled Some Bytes Uploaded and drag it to the section titled Right Axis. Once we've completed this step, I will collapse all the tabs but the Visualization tab to get a full view of our final visualization. This has been the Advanced Analytics training video on how to construct and customize a bar chart. Thank you for watching.